Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Lulu B, also known as Lucy. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these super cute Hearthstone keychains. They can be made into necklaces or charms, but today I'll be using them to make keychains with. Here are the materials that I'm going to be using. First, I'm going to be using some Polymer clay. This is the Primo brand. Then you're going to need one of these keychains. You can buy packs of these on Amazon, or I think you can actually get them at Michael's. You're going to need one jump ring. You can get these on Amazon or any craft store. One eye pin. One paintbrush and one gloss glaze to be used for Polymer clay. These tools I bought and they just help me, but you can use anything around the house that's kind of similar. This is I believe a silicone molder. And then this is just a nail art tool. Blue and white acrylic paint. Along with a very, very small brush. You can also use a toothpick for this. And then one cutting tool. I'm actually using a blade that's been dulled down. Please be very, very careful when handling these types of tools. And first I'm just going to take out my Polymer clay from the package. They're in sections like this, kind of like a chocolate bar, so I just need one section for this keychain. And then you just warm it up. It might be a little stiff, but if you just put it in between your hands, it'll warm up really quick, and you can shape it to the shape of a stone. And then shape it to kind of an oval, roundish, kind of like the Hearthstone. And then with my nail art tool, I'm just kind of putting out a stencil on there, just kind of lining up how I want my Hearthstone swirl indentation to be. I'm using that, and I'm just digging kind of like a well. And then blending it out as I go. Now I'm using my silicone brush tool. These brushes can actually, I believe I found these on Amazon for a pack for really cheap, and they're super helpful and they really help with blending. With this I'm just making a deeper, smoother part of the well. This is helping me make it smooth and helping me blend it so it's seamless. So once you're happy with how your Hearthstone swirly looks, you can pop it into the oven and make sure to bake it according to your clay instructions. Once it's completely cooled, take it out of the oven, and now you're going to shape your stone into the jagged edges. This is the part where if you're using a sharp tool, be very, very careful. Like I said, my blade here is dulled, so that's why I'm using it the way that I am. Do not ever use a fresh razor blade like I am. Mine is dulled. I'm just shaping out the stone here. Polymer clay, even when baked, it's actually still very soft to cut through. That's why I bake it first and then do this afterwards, so I can get those really nice, hard, jagged edges. You don't have to make this perfect, just kind of, I'm just, you know, looking out, trying to get rid of all the smoothness to it, so every part of it is jagged. Once you're happy with how your carved stone looks, the next part would be to paint it, but I forgot to put an eye pin in before I baked it. Thankfully my eye pin you can screw in, but this sometimes doesn't work, as you can see. The proper way, or at least how I do it, would be to put the eye pin in before it bakes. So if you put it afterwards, it doesn't ruin it, just like this. But that's okay, because you can easily fix it. I was able to shape it. To where it didn't look bad at all. Now we're going to secure our eye pin with some super glue. to make sure it's in there and it doesn't fall out, because you know keychains can get whacked around quite a bit. Now it's on to painting your Hearthstone. You're going to take that white and blue to get that nice light blue color that you see in the Hearthstone pictures. Mix it very well so there's no swirlies and it's one uniform color. Now we begin painting our Hearthstone with our little bitty paintbrush. You can use, like I said earlier, you can use a toothpick for this if you don't have any really small paintbrushes. The paintbrushes that I use for this are actually nail art paintbrushes. You can find them on Amazon for pretty cheap. For this stage, you're going to want to take your time because this is where the Hearthstone comes to life. And just be very careful in going into the crevices where you dug into. You can go over this with several coats to make it look really nice and vibrant. And I always have a ton of paint left over, so whenever I make Hearthstones, I make them in batches so I don't waste any paint. Once you're happy with how your Hearthstone looks, you're going to let it completely dry until the next stage. I use this Sculpey gloss glaze. You can find this online or you can find it at any craft stores that sell polymer clay. I just use a small brush and I go over very carefully, taking extra time to go in all the crevices so you can really see the details of the jagged stone. You only need a little bit, you don't need very much at all because you don't want it to be gloopy, then it'll take longer to dry. So you just want to brush on a light thin layer for this. Once you're all done painting on your gloss, you're going to let this dry according to the gloss instructions. This says for 30 minutes for the first coat, so that's what I'm going to do. I just leave it hanging on one of my nail art tools. There are better ways to do this, but this is how I do it. Okay, so our Hearthstone's all dry. Now it's time to attach a keychain. You're going to take your jump ring and attach it to the eye pin that's on your stone. And then you're going to take your keychain and attach it also to the jump ring. And then you're going to take a pair of needle nose pliers, or in my case 2, and close your jump ring and secure it. And there we go, it's all done. Now you have a nice little keychain, or if you decided to make a necklace, you have a nice little necklace. Give one to your friends, give one to your dog, give one to your mom. I make a lot of these because these are actually a pretty popular request. So if you're interested in purchasing one, I'll link my Etsy shop down below where you can buy your own keychain. As always, thank you for joining me and I'll see you next time.